Hello and welcome and namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Coming up over the next 30 minutes. India celebrates Group Captain Shukla's safe return from International Space Station along with 3 other astronauts as part of Axiom Mission 4. Prime Minister Modi lauds Shukla's courage for inspiring 1 billion dreams. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar urges all SCO members to take an uncompromising position on the challenges of terrorism, separatism and extremism at the group's foreign ministers meet in China's Tianjin. EU foreign ministers meet in Brussels to discuss Ukraine. Its foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, says an agreement on new sanctions against Russia is on the cards. And Tesla finally makes it to Indian markets with the launch of its Model Y, priced at $69,770 at its inaugural showroom in Mumbai. Well, first up, in a historic moment, the Axiom Mission 4 or AX4 carrying Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla and 3 other astronauts from the US, Poland and Hungary splashed down around 3:01 p.m. Indian Standard Time on Tuesday. The 4-membered crew returned home after spending 18 days at the International Space Station. A SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule carrying the 4-member team parachuted into the ocean off the coast of California at around 9:30 GMT, following a fiery re-entry through the Earth's atmosphere that capped a 22-hour descent from orbit. For India, Poland and Hungary, the launch marked the first human spaceflight of each country in more than 40 years and the first mission ever to send astronauts from their government's respective space programs to the ISS. Mission pilot Shubhanshu Shukla, Commander Peggy Whitson and 2 mission specialists undocked from the ISS on Monday at 16:45 hours IST. Now, as Shubhanshu Shukla returned to Earth, his family has expressed its happiness and said that the entire nation is proud of their son.
बहुत खुशी है हम तो गार्जियन हैं बहुत और पूरे देश को खुशी है आप सब लोगों को खुशी है कि बच्चा हमारा वापस सकुशल वापस आ गया ये हमारे लिए और देश के लिए सबके लिए गौरव देश के लिए बड़ा गर्व की बहुत गर्व की बात है हमारे लिए खुद गर्व की बात है हम हमारे लिए सबके लिए देश के गर्व मतलब जो है देश का परिवार के लिए
सब अच्छे से हो गया सब ईश्वर साथ में है ईश्वर नहीं उसको वहाँ पहुँचाया था उसी की दुआओं से उसी के सब पहुंचाया था उसी ने सब सुरक्षित लैंड कराया सब कुछ वही है
क्या कहेंगे आखिरी
अब कुछ नहीं आगे आने वाली पीढ़ी को सबक लेना चाहिए सीखना चाहिए जिसको आगे बढ़ना है वो आगे बढ़े अपना इसी तरह से
लग रहा है
अभी हाँ बिल्कुल धरती पे आ गए हैं बहुत प्राउड मोमेंट है हमारे देश के लिए भी और पूरे नेशन मेरे लिए एंड पूरे नेशन के लिए ऑफ कोर्स
And Prime Minister Modi has welcomed the Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla on his return to Earth from his landmark mission aboard the ISS. In a post on X, the Prime Minister wrote, and I quote, "I join the nation in welcoming Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla as he returns to Earth from his historic mission to space. As India's first astronaut to have visited the International Space Station, he has inspired 1 billion dreams through his dedication, courage and pioneering spirit. It marks another milestone towards our own human spaceflight mission, Gaganyaan." End quote. And India's Science and Tech Minister Jitendra Singh expressed happiness over the safe return of Axiom 4. Calling it a moment of glory for India, the minister noted that one of her illustrious sons returned from a successful voyage having conducted for the posterity life-bearing experiments in microgravity never done before.
It's a moment of pride for the whole world and a moment of glory for India as one of her illustrious sons returns back after accomplishing a successful voyage and after having conducted some of the very vital life-bearing experiments never done before. And therefore, as I said, today indeed Bharat has found an enduring space in the world of space.
And joining us now to talk about this historic moment, something that is going to be a major milestone in India's space journey from the time that it started on a bullock cart really to now. We have Payal Sharma. She's Associate Project Director, Bharatiya Antariksh Station, which basically means India's space station, and Deputy Project Director Gaganyan, joining us from Ahmedabad. Well, I believe congratulations are in order for you. We all have had a stake in Group Captain Shukla's return to Earth, but it's much more closer to home for you, isn't it? So just tell us how it feels right now.
So from all of ISRO, actually we are immensely proud to welcome Mr. Shubhanshu Shukla back after his participation in Axiom Mission 4 to the ISS. So his journey marks a historic step for India as he becomes the first person to gain first-hand experience aboard ISS. Actually, Shubhanshu played a very important and key role in operating Indian design payloads in the microgravity experiments, and whatever the insights he is bringing back are incredibly valuable for our human spaceflight program which are upcoming, that is the Gaganyaan and Bharatiya Antariksh stations. So actually from the understanding how astronauts live and work in the space to the intricacies of the international crew operations, and so this mission has expanded ISRO's practical knowledge in a big way. So if we say this is not just like his personal milestone, so it's like a moment of pride for the full country. His experience is definitely going to contribute in our upcoming missions because that is very beneficial if you see in the crew training and the operations and a lot of human factors which are there, because if you see the different scenario between the being in the ISS and being on the ground, though we provide all the habitable conditions like whatever the mother nature gives us on the earth, but the very crucial thing is if you see the microgravity, which impact the human body in a lot of way, physiological, psychological, in a many ways. So a person from our team, from our nation, he has spent a lot of time there, so he has a very lot of hands-on experience. It is going to help in a lot of ways. So, and it is a really a pride moment for full ISRO team, full India, and we are very happy for his safe return. And in future, we also expect that he is going to contribute in our missions in a major way. He is going to play a very key role in our missions because he is having all the hands of knowledge. So I'm expecting that and if you see the experiment which he has done, the India has designed a total 7 experiments for the Shubhanshu, and he is conducted in a well way. If you see the prime experiments where the human biology and the agricultural. So because in the long-term human missions, these are going to be the key factor. So he has done the experiments for the skeleton studies and impact on the bones. Then he has done a very beautiful experiments, right? That methi and moong sprouts. So he had he had grown those sprouts there, like how they are going to what is the difference between if we are going to have a sprouts on the earth and on the space. Then one experiment he has done, like there are a lot of human machine interfaces there on board. Let's say from where the astronaut has to operate the vehicle or ISS, a lot of operations. So once you are in the microgravity, your stress level is so high, your cognitive ability will get down.
Yes.
So these effects on the human body. So he has studied these effects, like what is going to affect our gaze, then our psychological, like cognitive status. These all studies he has done actually. So this is going to help us to train our astronaut in the future. And definitely once you are having your already experience, you are already having the lessons learned. So it trims your timeline once you are going for such type of missions, because we are already having the lessons learned. We are already having the data. We are already having the results. directly he has observed all these things. So in that way, it is going to help us.
Wonderful. Were you nervous at any point today or yesterday when the undocking happened? Because even in those 22.5 hours that entire journey took, there was one phase, there was a blackout too. Everybody knew that there will be a blackout, but still, a blackout is a blackout. It leaves you in a bit of a quandary.
Yeah, definitely. These blackout situations, now these are definitely, especially for the family, if you see. So definitely for us also. Definitely, it's challenging situations. You are having no contact. You are not even aware what is going to happen. And lighter side, the way all the astrological aspects are there. Now that 2025 is a year of so many things. So a
Yes.
little tension was definitely there, but I'm really very happy. Full ISRO team is happy that he has safely returned to the Earth. He is going to soon. He is going to be among us and are going to guide us in a lot many ways.
Astrologically speaking, I guess Saturn has gone retrograde today, so
Yes.
but we're not here to talk about that. Let's
Yeah.
leave that
Sure.
to other people, other experts of astrology. But just tell us now that Group Captain Shukla is back. He will have to, of course, re-acclimatize to being on Earth, and we can only expect him back perhaps after India's Independence Day, maybe on the 17th of August, as was indicated by the Science and Tech Minister. What plans are in place which involve him as well, his physical presence in India, which will ensure that the two projects that you're part of will make rapid progress?
Yeah, so we are eagerly waiting for him once he get acclimatized because a long exposure in the microgravity and first time definitely it was his first flight. So he has affected a little crude way because initially also he having some health issues on board. It was his first exposure. So soon he's come back. We are planning completely to grab him because we have to have a lot of knowledge from him because he's the suppose in our future mission Bharatiya Antrish Station, like in Gaganyaan it is a 7-day mission. It is a very small exposure for the astronaut but equally crucial. And in our future mission, if you see that Bharatiya Antrish Station and our lunar missions, where we are also planning the habitat in the on the lunar surface and all. So these experiences are going to add a lot of vital knowledge because if you see primarily the effect of microgravity, because as a ISRO, we are at par in our engineering things. We are already expert in launching our satellites. These satellites work for 15 to 20 years. So we don't have anything. But whenever the human factor involves, if you see, now for these astronauts are the payload. And to handle these, to provide a safe, habitable environment for them so that they can, because it's not something you are sending a man in the space. You are sending a man in the space just to perform some crucial task, which you are not able to perform on the ground at first place. So they have to first, their physical, mental, every condition has to be at the right place so that they can perform, after they can perform a certain task. So once the Subhanshu is back, so definitely he is going to the key man who is going to train the further astronauts. He is going to build the next team of the astronauts in the India and
Yes.
definitely help us to create a good astronaut training facility on the ground and a good habitable environments and habitable these habitats on board, and that's all. So in
Right.
that way, it is going to help.
Right. Tell us. I mean, I'm sure there will be a full debriefing of Group Captain Shukla to ensure that he shares all the knowledge that he's gathered, all the experience that he's gathered aboard the ISS. But tell us, in terms of both the Bharatiya Antariksh Station, which is India's space station, and Gaganyaan, the manned space flight, the knowledge that Group Captain Shukla is expected to share, how will that help ensure that the timelines that have been determined for these missions they are stuck to, or perhaps they are even advanced, and all the plans that have been put in place, the budgets that have been put in place, could they also be impacted?
Impact, actually, we have already our estimates and we were already in touch with those agencies already. So it's not like that. Definitely, it is going to help. help, because one thing you are communicating and you are getting some information through document exchange and all, and one thing you are having a physical exposure. Definitely it create a difference, a lot of difference. So once Subhanshu will back, definitely it is going to be a training part, astronaut training part, because he has trained, immensely. He has trained. He has got a exhaustive training. So that part is definitely going to affect. We are going to expedite, and we are going to refine the engineering, that training part, definitely.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Payal Sharma, Associate Project Director, Bharatiya Antariksh Station, and Deputy Project Director, Gaganyaan, two critical space projects that India is right now looking forward to taking forward with the help of Group Captain Shukla, as and when he's back in India sometime around the middle of next month. Thank you for talking about it.
Thank you.
India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has called on Chinese President Xi Jinping this morning in Beijing, along with his fellow SCO or SCO foreign ministers. Dr. Jaishankar conveyed the greetings of President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the Chinese leader. He also apprised President Xi of the recent developments as far as the India-China bilateral ties are concerned. The minister said that he values the guidance of leaders of both the sides in that regard. The meeting with the Chinese president has come a day after Dr. Jaishankar held talks with Chinese Vice President Han Zheng and his own counterpart Wang Yi in Beijing. And the External Affairs Minister has also met Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in Tianjin. That is where the SCO meeting is being held or has been held. The leaders reviewed bilateral cooperation and global developments in their meeting. Dr. Jaishankar also met Iran's Foreign Minister. Let me just bring up those pictures for you with the help of my colleagues back there and the panel. Okay, so he's also met, I mean, we're playing out the pictures of his meeting with Lavrov, but he's also met his Iranian counterpart, Saeed Abbas Araghchi, again on the sidelines of the SCO Foreign Ministers meeting in Tianjin. And he has also attended the SCO Council of Foreign Ministers meeting on Tuesday itself, today itself in Tianjin, and he's made a fairly forthright submission there, addressing the gathering there. Dr. Jaishankar has underlined that the three evils the SCO was founded to fight must be confronted with an uncompromising stance. He further called, and these are, of course, terrorism and extremism and separatism. He further called for cooperation rooted in mutual respect, sovereign equality, and strict adherence to the territorial integrity and sovereignty of all member states. Now, China has expressed strong disapproval on Tuesday regarding the US's precious tactics following President Donald Trump's warning of very severe tariffs against Russia's remaining trade partners if the Ukraine conflict remains unresolved in the next 50 days. Meanwhile, Chinese spokesperson Lin Jian has said there are no winners in trade wars and coercion and pressure will not solve the problem either.
I would like to reiterate that China has always believed that dialogue and negotiations are the only viable way to resolve the Ukrainian crisis. There are no winners in trade wars, and coercion and pressure will not solve the problem either. We hope all parties will work to foster an environment and build the conditions necessary for a political settlement of the Ukrainian crisis and do more to encourage peace and promote talks.
And Donald Trump on Monday announced a toughened stance against Russia for its Ukraine conflict. Trump coupled his arms announcement with a vow to impose tariffs and sanctions on Russia if Moscow will not make a ceasefire agreement within 50 days. The president threatened to hit buyers of Russian exports with sanctions unless Russia agrees to a peace deal within 50 days. This is a major shift in policy brought on by disappointment with Moscow. Trump has been reluctant to punish Russia, but he came away from a recent phone call with Putin disappointed that the Russian leader appeared prepared to continue the conflict. And foreign ministers of the European Union have met in Brussels on Tuesday and discussed the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha joined the Foreign Affairs Council through a video link. EU countries are close to reaching an agreement on a new package of sanctions against Russia. That's what the bloc's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, has said on Tuesday. The European Commission last month proposed the 18th package of sanctions against Russia for its invasion of Ukraine, aimed at Moscow's energy revenue, its banks and its military industry.
Really welcome the news that comes from the United States that they will provide weapons to Ukraine so that they can defend themselves. Of course, we hope to reach also political agreement on the 18th sanctions package. We are very, very close. I hope it comes today.
Now, the Kremlin said on Tuesday that US President Trump's recent statements, including a threat of sanctions on buyers of Russian exports, are serious and require analysis. In a major policy shift brought on by disappointment with Moscow, Donald Trump coupled his arms announcement with a vow to impose tariffs and sanctions on Russia if Moscow will not make a ceasefire agreement within 50 days. The president also threatened to hit buyers of Russian exports with what he called secondary sanctions. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has reiterated that Russia is ready to continue direct negotiations with Ukraine and is still waiting for a signal from Kyiv on when the next talks could take place.
The statements by the US President are quite serious. Some elements appear to be personally addressed to President Putin. We certainly require time to analyze what was said in Washington.
Tesla has officially plugged into the Indian market today with the launch of its first showroom at Maker Maxcity Mall in Mumbai's Bandra Kurla complex. The EV pioneer teased its arrival last Friday in its India-focused X account. Tesla will sell imported vehicles, including the Model Y, priced at around $69,770. That excludes local manufacturing for now. Encouraged by India's new EV policy offering reduced import duties and incentives, Tesla aims to test the waters in the world's third largest car market. Union Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy confirmed Tesla's current focus is on retail only. With minimal EV penetration and charging concerns still prevalent, Tesla is set to challenge German luxury brands like BMW and Mercedes-Benz in the premium electric vehicle segment. And India has once again risen to its commitment to non-fossil fuel sources. The good news is that India now accounts to at least half the power grid from renewable energy sources. India has achieved a new landmark in its energy transition journey, reaching 50% of its installed electricity capacity from non-fossil fuel sources. Notably, this achievement comes 5 years ahead of the 2030 target set under the Paris Agreement. On the global stage, India continues to lead in climate action, promoting equity and sustainable lifestyles. This breakthrough, driven by initiatives like PM Kusum and rooftop solar, highlights India's commitment to climate leadership and inclusive energy growth. Union Minister of New and Renewable Energy, Dr. Prasar Joshi, has hailed it as a proud moment, crediting Prime Minister Modi's leadership for the nation's green transformation. India now stands as a global torchbearer of clean, inclusive and sustainable development. Also, India's Minister for New and Renewable Energy has delivered a keynote address at IBCA Renewable Energy Summit 2025. Minister Joshi has emphasized that India's energy demand is expected to double by 2035, reaching around 816 gigawatts. And speaking at this event in Mumbai, the minister said that if nearly 50% of this growing demand is to be met through renewable energy, it would require significant funding, opening up large investment opportunities in the sector.
India's energy need is going to be doubled by 2035. तो बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में हमारा जो 2030 तक आज मैंने जैसे मैंने पहले बताया हमारा इंस्टॉल कैपेसिटी बोथ टू पुट टुगेदर इट इज about 483-84 gigawatt. So, but requirement will be, you can't imagine, by 2030, the requirement will be almost 817 gigawatt. This is what is the expectation. When we want to generate 817 gigawatt of energy, out of that, even if you consider as a 50% from the renewable energy, so you see the requirement of fund for that.
Time now to get some sporting updates as well. Our Vaishali and Harika Dronavalli joined compatriots Kuneru Hampi and Divya Deshmukh in the pre-quarterfinals of the FIDE Women's World Cup in Georgia. Vaishali had to dig deep to beat US's Carissa Yip after both of their classical games ended in a draw. The 15+10 rapid tie-break match also finished with the same result. Vaishali won both the 10+10 rapid games to book her spot in the pre-quarterfinals, where she'll face Meriurt Kamaridinova of Kazakhstan. Meanwhile, Harika defeated Greek player Stavrula Solakidu in the same manner as Vaishali. Harika will now face Lagno in the next round. Indian shuttlers PV Sindhu and Lakshya Sen will be in action in the Japan Open 2025 badminton tournament, which will start from Tuesday, that is today. Now, Sindhu and Lakshya and the men's doubles pair of Chirag Shetty and Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy were last seen at the Indonesia Open in early June. All three skipped the subsequent US Open and Canada Open. In the women's doubles category, Rituparna Panda and Swetaparna Panda will represent the Indian contingent. That's it for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. It's both on Android and iOS. Just scan the QR code on the screen, download the app right away. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.